everybody, this is Karma, back again with episode 32 of My Life Stories. Hope you're having a good day today now that things are starting to look up and we have lots of places starting to open up again. Hit that like button before you forget and listen to the end of this video for a chance to win some Karmageddon swag. Today's video has been sponsored by Pop's Trading Post. A link to Pop's Trading Post has been listed below. And now, without further ado, the name of this story is A Blessing When I Need One. People are really strange about blessings and sometimes miss them altogether. I'm of the mind never to ask for them, but to let them occur naturally on their own. There are many instances of blessings I have received over the years, but here's the story of my favorite one. Every life has its highs and lows. No one can live on an upward swing all the time, and I don't expect to either. My story takes place in 1994. My husband and I had been married for 3 years. We had purchased our first starter home out in the country like my husband wanted. Our home was an older country home, and as such, occasionally had issues or needed to have work done. Unfortunately for us, one of those issues happened to occur at one of the most trying times of our lives. It's very easy to be happy when things are good. It's something else when the chips are down and you don't know where to go from there. We were really happy with our little family, my husband, son, and I. So family-wise, we were great. But we were living from paycheck to paycheck, even though my husband and I were both working. We barely made enough to pay the bills, but I didn't mind, because family. My husband loved me, and my child thought I was his whole world. What more could I ask for? Our day started much like any other, with the exception that the water heater burst. We did the best we could to clean everything up, not daring to voice the fact that there was no possible way we would be able to purchase another water heater for the house. It's times like those that you find out what your partner is made of. You never know how someone will react when they are faced with what looks like an impossible obstacle. I felt like we had hit a brick wall. I knew my husband had $15 left in his wallet, and those $15 were supposed to get him gas, buy lunch, and last until he got paid again in another week. $5 of the $15 were his mad money, the money he kept hidden in his wallet in case of an emergency or to buy lunch if he was ever short. I felt hopeless. It was Sunday, and I was trying not to show my husband how hopeless I felt. I was an avid bingo player at that time. My favorite bingo parlor held games on Sundays in the evenings. Too bad, so sad, I thought miserably. I hadn't played bingo in a while, but still, I wished I at least had the option to go and play. So I was determined to just ride out the situation as best as I could. I remember that we were both lost in our own worlds, thinking about that evil water heater that had put us in such a bind. All of a sudden, at 4 o'clock, my husband turned to me and held out a $10 bill and said, "You should go play bingo." I remember this moment so clearly, and how horrified I felt that he would even suggest such a thing. What is wrong with this man? I thought to myself. I don't think so, I told him. That's all we have for the week. Keep it, and we'll figure out how to replace the water heater later. But my husband was insistent and absolutely refused to back down. Go, he said, over and over, until despite all my misgivings, I agreed and took the $10 bill out of his hands. Packages at this particular bingo hall started at $9. I thought about just waiting a few hours and then returning back home with the $10 bill. But in the end, I just walked in, bought a $9 package, and hoped for the best. I was thankful I had a $1 bill left for coffee. That was my one bright spot. Thank you, Lord, for this little treat, I thought to myself. Sadly, I played all the games and never came close to winning. One by one, I watched as other lucky winners won the bingos. So I was feeling pretty low and wished that I had just stayed home. The very last game was for a $1,000 jackpot, but was not included in my package. I wrestled with myself, thinking I could just skip this game and go home. Or I could purchase just one card and play the very last game. I don't know why, but without thinking, I raised my hand up with the $1 bill and bought one single card to play the last game, with the biggest jackpot for the evening. I held the single card in my hands and really regretted not buying that cup of coffee. There were lots of people all around me playing massive amounts of cards, and there I was with my one single card. People were looking at me, pointing, and openly laughing, but I didn't let this bother me. My sweet husband had given me the last of the money he had so that I could enjoy myself, so that was what I decided to focus on. I bowed my head and thanked the good Lord for bringing this wonderful human being into my life, and just focused on marking the numbers as they were called. As the game went on, I noticed that I was dabbing a majority of the numbers that were being called. Hope inside me blossomed that I would not be disappointed again that night. For those of you that don't play bingo, most people usually win a game at anywhere from 50 to 55 numbers. At 48 numbers, I was one number short. I looked up to the camera for the next number and saw my remaining number on the screen. I was in agony waiting for the number to be called. I would not have minded sharing with anyone else, but we just needed that money so bad. They called my number and I jumped up on the table and screamed, "Bingo!" waving my arms frantically to get the caller's attention. He just had to see me. No way was I going to let them call the next number and lose this jackpot. It turned out I won the entire jackpot by myself and could not believe my good luck. I said a prayer of thanks and chalked it up to the love and faith my husband had expressed when he pressed the last $10 bill he had into my hands so I could come and play. I was elated. I arrived home with a tote full of money, smiled, and waited patiently for my husband to ask me how the game had gone. But my husband, beaten down by our circumstances, never said or asked anything about the bingo game. In the morning, I awoke cheerful at the brand new day and anticipated the inevitable, "What are you smiling about?" But it never came. He ate breakfast and left for work, hopeless and trying to go on despite overwhelming odds. I got to work and asked if I could take the afternoon off. To my surprise, they agreed without question. So I worked until noon and left with my tote secure in my arms. I drove over to my husband's work and asked if we could have a private conversation in an empty office. My sweet husband was alarmed to see me and immediately assumed the worst. "What's wrong?" he asked me. I looked at him somberly and said, "I'm sorry I have to do this, but I need those $5 you have in your wallet." I'll never know what went through his head at that time. With a sigh, he pulled his last $5 bill out of his wallet and handed it to me. I looked at him and said, "You'd give me your last piece of bread if I asked you for it, wouldn't you?" He smiled and said, "Yes, of course I would, because I love you." I stood up and upended the contents of my tote on the desk, only to witness the shocked expression on my husband's face. He didn't look happy. Instead, he looked very distressed. He jumped up and yelled, "I knew it! You robbed a bank!" When I started to laugh, he ventured with, Was it a 7-Eleven? I assured him that the money came from a jackpot I had won at bingo the previous night, and reminded him that he never asked me how the game had gone. After explaining that I did not quit my job and had just asked for the afternoon off, he relaxed, and as a treat, I took him out to lunch. Many of you will say, "What a blessing! She won that money when she really needed it." And that is most certainly true. But that is not the blessing that is the focus of my story. My true blessing turned out to be my husband, and the affirmation of his strength, love, and character. I learned I would always be able to count on him, and he was and is my true partner in every sense of the word. I could write a book about the other blessings I have received in my life. God is good, but this one remains my all-time favorite. Blessings to you and all your viewers, Karma. Feel free to share my story on your channel. I remain, sincerely, L.I.H. I hope you really enjoyed this story. I know I did. Because of this story, I was able to look back on my life and be thankful for the blessings that I've been given. One blessing that I had was due to a terrible accident I had almost 3 years ago, where I could have very easily have been killed. I refused any medical assistance and was barely able to make it back home on my own. I had a lot of issues from this accident that I've tried to keep hidden from everyone I know. I think the real blessing for me was a supervisor that I worked with that knew about my accident and made allowances for my shortcomings, and was always patient, kind, and accessible to me, even though he did roll his eyes a lot. Let me know what your favorite blessing has been in the comments section. And thank you, LIH, for this very thoughtful story. Please leave 3 heart emojis in the comments section to show LIH your appreciation for this story. Any comments or feedback will be greatly appreciated. If you would like your story read on my channel, please submit your story to karma@karmageddon.com or post to u/karmageddon on Reddit. All stories will be read anonymously with either initials, descriptions, or pseudonyms only. Thank you again, Pops Trading Post, for sponsoring this video. If you would like to place an order through Pops Trading Post, please use discount code KARMAGEDDON, all caps, for a 20% discount at checkout. You can support my channel by liking, subscribing, sharing, and hitting that bell icon for future life story videos. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Those of you that like and share my videos on YouTube or Facebook will automatically be entered in the drawing for Karmageddon or Pops Trading Post swag. Follow this link for a preview. Bear in mind, we're still in the process of placing new items in the website. This promotion ends on Sunday, May 31st of 2020, and the winners will be announced on the June 2nd, 2020 video. Well, that's my video for you today. Remember, do something nice today. Help me change the world.
It's not their turn, it's my turn to shine. Like the rays of the sunlight reaching out my arms.
See you next Tuesday. Be good. Don't forget that one simple gesture can help change the world for the person that you are helping. And karma is always watching. Have a good day and a good night, and I will see you later.